Wasps Club fan in the British Championships last season. 55 kilos, set under 20 and under 23 records, and a keen paddleboarder as he lives by the seaside. Hails from Eastbourne, studies in Brighton.
Well, he looks relaxed, doesn't he? Seems to be enjoying the experience. Plenty of support here from the home crowd.
I must say, we were fortunate enough to be able to go backstage and have a quick word with a number of the athletes. Very positive mood by the athletes. Now, Michaela, they're in these warm-up stages, so a lot of people who may not be familiar with the sport of weightlifting, what happens backstage is equally important as what happens on the main competition stage.
It certainly is. While our eyes will be on the competition platform, watching the lifters hopefully execute 3 successful lifts, there's a lot more that goes backstage. The coaches have to time the athletes warm up to perfection so that when their name is called, they're ready to step foot onto the platform. But we're going to see a whole lot of poker going on backstage, which we will enlighten you about as it happens.
There's a young man who's really looking forward to this competition. David Mock, whose older sister Denise, looking on from home in Singapore. First lift.
Well, an interesting first lift here from Benjamin Osioma, representing Kenya. You can see there 2-to-1 majority in favour. I thought his right arm was bent when he received the bar. So let's go straight to the rule book. The bar must go to arm's length in one continuous movement. You see the right arm was bent when he received it, and it's straight when he stands up. That, in my view, is a press out. However, referees deemed it a good lift, so he's been given it 2-to-1. So he's got his first attempt registered successfully. He'll now have a 2-minute wait as he follows himself. No other lifter wants this weight. And it's a rising bar, so the weight will only increase, and the lifters will then come in and enter the competition when the bar reaches the weight they nominate.
So for those of you who may not be so familiar with the sport of weightlifting, we'd like you to think of weightlifting in a slightly different way. It is a combination initially of a chess game, where you make opening moves and gambits, and ultimately, when it comes down to the final fight for medals, it turns and can turn into a poker game.
It's very much about playing your cards at the start, isn't it? But waiting as well and watching and seeing what other athletes are doing. Now, the athletes themselves won't become too engrossed with what each other is doing. They'll just be focusing on themselves. But it's the coaching staff that will have to pay particularly close attention to the scoreboard and what the other lifters are doing backstage, especially when we get close to the medals. Athletes can change their weight twice. So the weights they've nominated that we see on the start list, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to come in on those. They can move it up or down, but once the bar reaches a weight, they cannot go below the weight that is on the bar.
So the man coming out here is Gotia Katswana, representing Botswana, with an opening attempt of 70 kilos, which is what he originally posted. First attempt. That's the 30-second buzzer that you can hear there. That's a nice opener.
A very comfortable opener, catches the bar very high. We're going to see some slightly varied techniques as the lifters come onto the platform. Great technique will be catching the bar in a really deep receiving position. You can see an early arm bend, that's going to take some of the speed off the bar. Catches slightly in front, hence the step forwards. The smile, that's a smile of relief. It's always nice to get your first attempt on the board. He was sitting a little back on the bar, which caused the shoulders to swing. A little bit of showmanship at the end as well.
been in the sport for 5 years, studying cyber forensics. That sounds pretty demanding. And the bar staying on 70 kilos for the second attempt of the representative from Kenya. This is Benjamin Osioma. So 5 kilo increase.
Well, it was better with the arms, but too much swing on the bar, unable to steady overhead.
Yeah, it's a pity that he wasn't far away from getting that lift at all.
Well, clearly strong enough. If you can get the bar to arm's length, that's always a good start. Chest was down. Look at that early arm bend. No power from the legs, or certainly not enough power. Ends up throwing the shoulders back. You want that bar travelling as close to the body. You don't want it going away. If it swings overhead, it's very, very hard to hold on to. These lifters are experienced. They should know how to drop the bar. So for any of you watching, if the bar goes behind, just let go.
Still only 22. He competed in the Commonwealth Games in the Gold Coast in 2018 and was lifting in the snatch phase 62 kilos, and definite improvements. He's posted 72 kilos in this weight category of 55 kilos. That would be his personal best, so it's a pity he didn't get that second attempt.
It is. It's always nice to come to a big competition like this with aspirations of going beyond anything you've done before. You've got to play your cards right, and you've got to execute when it matters.
And Michaela, really important here, like the Olympic Games, unlike World Championships or Continental Championships, there are no individual medals for the individual disciplines, not for snatch, not for clean and jerk. This is all about the gold medal for being Commonwealth champion, or the silver or the bronze.
No lift. No. Even if he stood, the arms bent. Unlucky, really unlucky. And yeah, as you alluded to there, David, only in the overall medal at stake. It's a shame because you have other sports such as gymnastics, for example, where they have individual disciplines. It's a shame that weightlifting are not able to also have snatch, clean and jerk medals at stake, but hey ho.
But the one thing is in his favour, Osioma, who got the 65 kilos as his opening lift, so he is still in with the possibility of a total, and a total means ultimately a ranking position, if not a medal, and that can be very important.
It certainly can. Some athletes here will be, you know, their position where they finish is very important, because it may affect their funding when they go back home, any support that they receive. And as you said, 3 snatches, 3 clean and jerks. The lifters must nail at least 1 snatch, 1 clean and jerk to give them an overall total.
So representing the Mauritius, this is Willem Emile. Only 19. There are a number of athletes who are still in the junior ranks. Already has achieved a junior African title. It's interesting, I was talking to him backstage and I said, which of the 2 lifts do you prefer? And he said, well, I used to prefer the snatch, now I've gone to clean and jerk.
See here, very powerful. Bar drifts forwards as it comes off the floor. Very, very powerful in the receiving position. You can't just dive under these weights and hope for the best. You've got to be confident. Quite a close hand grip. The bar is considerably higher than his head. You'll see some lifters have the bar a lot closer to their head. The closer the hands are, the further the bar has to travel. Great first attempt.
Yes, I mentioned that junior African record. It was a couple of years ago, 76 kilos, and every chance now of setting a new personal best, which is a really good way to open his account. So a big cheer for one of the favourites, Zilanka Yodage, representing Sri Lanka. Oh, in fact, my apologies there. It's Gotia Kagswane of Botswana.
Well, he knew how close that was. It was overhead, swung backwards. You see here the shoulders are behind the bar in the start position. Ends up putting a bit of swing on the bar. Knee wrap came undone. I'm not a great fan of knee wraps, much prefer the knee sleeves that you can just pull up. And that's the opportunity going. You can see there from that overhead shot just how far the shoulders swung backwards. There we go. 5 kilo increase. He's capable of it. He knows it.
Well, he does have the one final attempt in the snatch race to come, so presumably he will go for the same weight.
Yeah, he's got 2 minutes now. No other athlete wants the same weight, and he knows it's close as well. That bar flew to arm's length. He's just got to control the swing. When the bar does swing, it either goes out the back door, as we just saw, or the athlete leaves it in front, or the off chance they might land it and actually catch it there. He's having trouble with those knee wraps. That's just a little off-putting. Needs to try and secure them, tuck them in a bit better than he was doing.
The bar has gone up to 77 kilos.
He's actually double wrapping here. He's got a knee sleeve on and he's wrapping. That's the problem. And he's using Velcro that clearly needs replacing.
So he clearly thinks that he's got the strength to lift this, which is 2 kilos above the failed second attempt.
Yeah, the strength of the power is unquestionable. He's definitely got that. The question is, does he have the technical discipline to land it? Far more to this sport than just the brute strength. A huge amount of this is mental. You've got to believe that you're capable of lifting these weights. And let's put this in perspective. These guys are just 55 kilos in body weight. He's actually gone up in weight here to 77 kilos, so really going eyeballs out.
Well, fired up now. Can he deliver? Locks on.
One out the back door, one out the front. What a shame. That gamble going up another 2 kilos to 77. Unsuccessful means he's left back on just 70 kilos. That will be disappointing. You can see here, shoulders go back. As I mentioned, it either goes out the front, out the back, and he might land it. Still smiles there. He's still enjoying the moment.
So the bar will go up now to 80 kilos. The loaders have just made that correction and onto the stage. Willem Emil, representing Mauritius. Opened up. First attempt at 75 kilos, that was good. So this, by my reckoning, is a new personal best for him.
Very, very strong and a fantastic personal best. My fear is the limiting factor here could be his hand position. He's got to generate tremendous height on the bar, which he does. Just about sneaking under this. The progression for an athlete now will be to take their hands wider to give them greater ability to get underneath their heavier weight. You can see there, no riding the bar, and he catches it dynamically at the bottom. Focus from start to finish, waits for the referee's down signal. Job done. The question is, where is he going to go now for his third and final attempt?
Well, indeed, that was a decent increase, and straight on now to the man who's come all the way from Singapore, David Mock, who only last February set new national records. He's barely been in the sport of weightlifting for not even quite 18 months, so remarkable. 81 kilos.
Not bad, 55 body weight, 81 kilos open up with very, very little experience behind him. We can see here, shoulder position slightly behind the bar, raises the bum to start with, catches it in a fairly soft position, pretty much keeps the feet flat on the floor. Compare that to some of the other lifters you may see who receive with a really dynamic receiving position. I try to encourage lifters to land on flat feet so they have weight distribution evenly spaced. Bar needs to be over that base of support. If you land toes then heels, it'll often be quiet. He's got a huge potential ahead of him. That really is a great start to his campaign.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not going to go for 82 kilos. The bar will go up a little bit more than that, as we see from the Solomon Islands. First attempt, 82 kilos. And this is Philip Massey. Explosive first attempt.
Yes, it certainly was, and that's the comparison that we make from one lifter to the next. Lifters that move like this, they land on flat feet, they're dynamic, they're solid. Bar is over base of support, absolutely no question about the capability of this young man. Looking down, that's likely to bring the chest forward, and that's his style of lifting.
And the youngest of the class at just 17.
So the towel over the head is just so he can stay in his zone. There's a lot going on at this level of competition, an experience that many lifters will not be used to. There's cameras everywhere, and they just want to focus on the job at hand. The clock is ticking. It looks like he'll be following himself. When a lifter follows themselves, that means nobody else wants the same weight. 2 minutes to recover. No, he's gone up in weight. Another lifter has changed their weight.
Yes, and it's the man from Mauritius, Willem Emile. Third attempt. .83 kilos on the bar.
Slight wobble overhead before the down signal, but he holds on to it, and that's 3 from 3. Fantastic lifting, great personal bests. You cannot ask any more on a big stage. Let's take a look here. Maintains great position off the floor. Tremendous explosion. Oh, nearly lost it forwards there. Just see the grit and determination. whilst 85 kilos might not seem like a huge amount, you have to put this in perspective, 55 kilo body weight.
Yeah, so 3 good lifts, 75, 80, 83, new personal best. And really good start there. And just what you want, getting 3 out of 3. Boosts your confidence for the clean and jerk.
100%. You cannot ask for any more than 3 out of 3 and personal bests.
So, bar going up to 86 kilos for the second attempt of David Mock from Singapore. He has 81 kilos, so a 5 kilo increase. And again, this is the young man with barely 18 months experience, so already noteworthy. And this, of course, would be a new personal best for him.
What a shame. Couldn't quite hold it. It looked like it was there. You see the weight was on the toes from the start. And that's what I was referring to earlier about landing on flat feet, making sure you receive the bar in a solid position. His heels flicker off the floor, but he's on his toes throughout, unable to steady the bar overhead.
Yeah, that was very close.
Yeah, early arm bend, sits in very, very deep. You've got to maintain flat feet, even weight distribution. There's such a narrow base of support.
Now this, for his second attempt, is a significant increase from 82 up to 90, 8 kilos. So he's asking himself a very significant question here.
And the answer is no. He's strong enough. Bar went to arm's length, but it was a little erratic for my liking. Just shaking the arm out and the wrist out. There was a big impact there as he received the bar. Ideally, you want to be meeting the bar at the bottom, and we see here he dives under, and then it hits the elbow and goes out backwards. Yeah, you don't really want to be seeing any blown elbows here. That's probably a fairly common injury, a dislocated elbow, if the timing is wrong. But these athletes know better than to try and hold on to a weight that's going backwards. He's not happy with the wrist. That'll be okay.
It's interesting. I wonder whether it was in his mind that he's got a personal best of 91, and I wonder whether it was in his mind to let's get to 90 and then see whether we can go the extra couple of kilos.
Well, I would say here, David, he's trying to put himself in contention. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lifters yet to open their campaign. He only needs 1 or 2 of those lifters to have a slip up and do something wrong for him to find himself in medal contention. But at the end of the day, you have to execute the lifts you attempt. He's got 1 attempt remaining, just over a minute on the clock.
And a great number of lifters from the South Pacific who you'll be seeing over the next days. Solomon Islands to the east of Papua New Guinea. Well, we have lifters from Nauru and Tonga and Vanuatu and Nui and the Cook Islands. But out to try 90 kilos again, and pretty sensible to stick at 90.
So this is a big ask. Previous attempt was not overly convincing. Needs to put the discomfort from the wrist and the elbow behind him.
20 seconds on the clock, so time enough.
Oh, he lands it and stands. Wonderful lifting, wonderful recovery from Philip Massey of the Solomon Islands.
Yeah, that's a really good recovery, and that actually shows also not only how he executes this, Michaela, but also the teamwork.
Well, it's the self-belief of the coaches as well. They're behind him all the way. We see here looking down, that's not conducive to good lifting. It's pulled him forwards. But fantastic recovery, a lift to be proud of.
Indeed, not a personal best, but nonetheless a big step forward. 90 kilos to take forward to the second phase of the competition. And onto the stage, representing England, Ben Hickling. Commonwealth Games debut, opening up at 93 kilos.
It's unlucky, that's not the start he would have been aiming for. Dream of this moment, competing in front of your home crowd. Some calm words of advice from Dave. So let's see what goes wrong. Swings the shoulders back a little, not a huge amount wrong. Technically, just doesn't stick it overhead, drops the chest there a little, gets good extension, good float on the bar. Almost too much float, that bar comes down on top of him. Andy Callard, Dave Sawyer, very experienced coaches. They will just, as you can see there, offer him a drink. Not be in his face, they'll give him a bit of space.
So whilst they contemplate how to achieve the next attempt, onto the stage Ashik Taj, representing Bangladesh. Second attempt, 93 kilos, 3 kilo increase. Pretty good.
Yeah, very sound attempt. He actually does something quite unusual, which we'll point out here on the replay. I think he starts with his feet wider than he receives it. Can't see from this angle. Big chest, gets great extension, fast underneath the bar, and that's the key for any of you budding crossfitters or weightlifters out there. The speed at which these lifters transition under the bar is key. And that's what sets a good weightlifter apart from the rest.
So an encouraging noise from the fans in the stadium here supporting Ben Hickling. Second attempt at 93 kilos. He's posted a personal best of 100 in this weight category, but he absolutely needs this lift to stay in the mix.
No mistake this time, takes a step to steady himself, needs to be careful, you've got to keep your hands on the bar until the bar passes shoulder height. Don't celebrate too early, Ben, but that was tremendous recovery. Really good extension, lovely float on the bar, meets it at the bottom. Tiny stagger backwards, core needs to be careful. Jury could overrule if he lets go too early. Must keep the hands on the bar below shoulder height.
So Ben Hickling on his way, and the loaders on stage because the bar's going up to 96 kilos now. But still to open their account, Niyoyita of Uganda, Sagar of India, Anik Mohammed of Malaysia, and Yodage of Sri Lanka. So we're just really getting warmed up here now as Taj of Bangladesh comes out for his second attempt at 96 kilos. Posted a entry total of 210, which is just a guide to the sort of total he's looking to accumulate, but that would potentially put him in the mix for maybe a medal at the end of this competition. So this is another important stepping stone.
A stepping stone that he's strong enough to do, but technically not precise enough. Too much of a swing on the bar, unable to hold it overhead. His shoulders go a long way back. There's good distance there between the body and the bar. The bar wants to travel as close as possible to the body. He drops his chest, compensates then by throwing back. Sits super deep. Let's go just about early enough.
So Ben Hickling, coach, has asked for 97 kilos for what will be his third and final attempt. As I mentioned a few moments ago, he has a personal best of 100, but that first failure has just set him back a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. This is now about staying composed, staying focused, and making sure we make no more mistakes. 7 kilos, a weight Ben is capable of.
But he does need this to keep himself in touch.
Oh, not quite the spark that we saw on the previous attempt. A little bit sluggish through the second phase of the lift. Kicking himself for that mistake.
Yeah, that is a definite setback now.
It is. This is very much a learning curve for Ben. Has some experience on the international stage, has competed at youth and junior ranks at European and world level. This is a step onto the big boys platform, and we're going to see a lot more of this young man in the future, I'm sure. Well, he'll be disappointed now. He needs to put this behind him. Refocus for the clean and jerk.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective, I mean, he's barely been in the sport for 4 years, which is not a long time.
No, very, very young, and I say inexperienced. He's got some experience, but you see in the next 4 years, I'm confident we'll see him at the next games, and then we're going to see a young man who's really developing his ability.
So the arrival of Davis Nyoyita of Uganda weighed in very late, cutting very close to the deadline. These lifters who started weighing in at 7 o'clock this morning, but he just made the deadline, but happy to see him here. 28 years of age, more experience than many, runner-up in the Commonwealth Championships last season, opening up here on 100 kilos. Warm-up would seem to have gone well.
Timed out. Clock ran to 0 before the lift started. So that is, who do you blame on this one? Look, he should have known how long was on the clock, because there is a clock on the platform on the stage. So he should have been aware of that, but he only came onto the platform with 20 seconds remaining. The coaches should have got him out earlier. So it seems like time management, based on the fact he was late to the weigh-in as well, is not on his side. Well, he needs to sort that mistake out. Big swing back of the shoulders, but regardless, even if he landed it, I think he was timed out.
Yeah, we don't know, because that was the first attempt, how expensive that could be.
Well, there's only a couple of lifters remaining in this competition, so we've got 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 lifters yet to start, representing India, Malaysia and Sri Lanka. Say that Davis Nyoyita of Uganda definitely needs a good lift here to stay in contention. Doesn't want to give the other lifters too many kilos to run away with on the snatch.
As I mentioned, bidding to become Uganda's first medalist at the Commonwealth Games.
Well, he's up onto the platform with a minute on the clock. He's got plenty of time this time. The crowd are really getting behind him. They want to see a good lift here.
Now, as I mentioned, he got a silver medal in the Commonwealth Championships last year. More than 30 seconds at his disposal, so. Going for a personal best straight away.
And you have to question if this is too much. Has he gone too heavy on his opener? 2 failures now. He puts himself in a very difficult position. A lot of pressure, must execute on his third to have a chance of making a total. Throws the shoulders too far back, huge swing on the bar. That is very, very costly.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, no individual discipline medal, so he really needs the third attempt to give himself a chance. If he gets this next attempt, which we hope he will, then that opens up the possibilities again when he moves on to the clean and jerk.
But misses it, and it's game over. He will not be allowed to take a clean and jerk.
11 athletes will be reduced to 10.
This is such a tough game when you only get 3 attempts. And let me clarify, this is not 3 attempts at each weight. This is 3 attempts full stop. So you have to start heavy to be in contention or a chance at pushing towards best, but at the same time you don't want to start so heavy that you bomb out. Some technical issues there to be addressed afterwards. But this isn't the time or the place for that. Now it's about being confident and believing in your ability.
95 kilos, 96 kilos, he's lifted. He actually got a bronze medal in the African Championships last year, but that was at the heavier weight category of 61 kilos. And the crowd really getting behind him here.
They are, and if he's dropped down from 61 to 55, that may be affecting his ability as well. But right now, he needs to focus. The crowd are roaring.
Yeah, this is the great thing about weightlifting sport, isn't it? But people actually understand this, and they're giving him the support. And lifters do feed off this. So here we go. Almost a minute to get it. Come on.
And it's all over in a split second. What a shame.
Oh, I feel so sorry for him, McCullough. It just hasn't been his day.
He's ripped his hand as well. It is what it is. 3 failed lifts, that's a bomb out. And he will take no further part in this Commonwealth Games.
Late at the weigh-in. Lost the first lift when he was timed out. And the second and the third attempts have also gone south. Real pity. So, as you mentioned, there are still lifters to start that campaign. And the next man we might well see is Delanka Yodage, all the way from Sri Lanka, which, as you and I know, and I think we all know, having a really tough time at home. So everybody will be absolutely on his side. The 105 kilos have been loaded onto the bar. He's got a personal best of 108 kilos.
Well, a very interesting technique there, interesting style. Executed a very straight position at full extension. Gets really good activation of the glutes, but not to be. I would say sitting back on the bar as he came off the floor. Very powerful, lots of float on the bar, clearly strong enough. Such a fine room for error. It's a weight he can definitely do. Just needs to recompose now. 2 minutes on the clock, will be following himself. Clock is ticking. You won't need a huge amount of time to recover on a snatch. Doesn't take that much out of you. It's down to the coaches now to make sure they hold him back. Give him time to recover. He wants to go. Look, he's fired up. He's full of adrenaline, but he is still recovering. The coaches need to keep him back there until at least the clock hits a minute.
A member of the armed forces back home, but that essentially enables him to train as an athlete full time. But what's interesting, as you rightly said, he has lifted 108 kilos. He did that in achieving a bronze medal in the Asian Championships a couple of years ago. But last December in the Commonwealth Championships, which were part of the World Championships, he failed to get a total, but he did actually manage 105 kilos. So this should be a weight he can manage. Much better.
That's wonderful recovery. Known by his friends back home as Teller. That is the lifter we know. 11 years lifting experience. He started when he was just 15 years of age, now 26. That was a great recovery. Super solid overhead. You can see the bar barely travelled higher than where he received it. Absolutely perfect in terms of timing. What you don't want is that bar coming super high and then crashing down on top of you. That was brilliant.
Just a reminder that, of course, all the Commonwealth Games records are subject to the new standards, and the standard for this snatch discipline is 114 kilos. Just to put it in perspective as to where we are at the moment, which is 106 kilos on the bar, which your Dargate will not take. That's
worth mentioning as well, a couple of the lifters that are left in the competition yet to start are still juniors. So the junior record is 112. So 112, 114 are the records that we're looking at. I wonder how close we'll get.
So Sanket Saga coming onto the stage for his first attempt at 107 kilos, as planned. Suggests that warm-up has gone well. Representing India. Good opener.
Yeah, very good opener from Saga. Calm, cool, collected. Take a look here, great position off the floor, hits a lovely full extension, doesn't lean back on it, therefore the bar stays nice and close to the body. Technically very proficient. And focus from start to finish. The lift is not finished until the referees give you the down signal.
And he's very much one of the favourites. Totaled up 256 kilos at the Asian qualification event last February, and equalled his own national record in the snatch, 113 kilos, and broke India's clean and jerk record, 143. So plenty to look forward to, and another big cheer for Anik Mohammed of Malaysia, also asking for 107 kilos. The winner of Malaysia's first ever World Championship medal last year.
Well, sneaks under the first attempt, not a huge amount of upward float on the bar, but he gets under it, and that is a great opening lift.
And you really sense now, Michaela, the game is on in this 55 kilo category.
He hangs on to that bar at the top, trying to achieve more elevation. Time wasted getting underneath the bar, in my view. This is going to be a very, very close competition. Really gutsy performer, and as you said, his credentials on a world stage. Well, this is a world stage, this is a world platform. How much further can he go? All the lifters have now opened their campaign. The question is, who can hold their nerve?
Well, he is the Commonwealth champion from last December, 107, 142 in the clean and jerk, 249. And just waiting to see how this now develops from the chess into the poker game.
Poker has definitely begun. So representatives from India have gone from 107 to 111. Now that's going to put the pressure on Anik Mohammed from Malaysia. Do they go with him? Do they stick with him? Or do they play their own game and maybe go 110, which would probably be a weight that I would have predicted? We've also got one lift remaining from Sri Lanka, who's gone up 7 kilos from 105 to 112. They're playing a fair amount of poker backstage right now. Who can keep their cool? Who can keep game face? Who can execute?
Bar going up to 109, being loaded on now as I speak. or at the moment, Anik Mohammed from Malaysia.
And I think this is an intelligent call. We've just seen Anik Mohammed, 107. I didn't think there was a huge amount of upward float on that bar. He's gone 109, now he's gone to 111. He's been drawn into the poker game. Is he bluffing or can he do it? I think that is a risky move potentially from Malaysia. I'll eat my words if successful.
And now we're just 3 kilos short of that Commonwealth standard, which must be broken. In other words, to set the Commonwealth Games record, somebody would have to lift 115 kilos. But let's just focus on the present here. So, India on the stage.
Short on the extension, but he gets there. How did he get under the bar? That was tremendous lifting. Never looked to fully extend. Well, that is a great lift. 2 from 2 for India. They've thrown their cards down. 1 attempt remaining. Can he go any further?
It's really interesting because he actually failed to total in both the World Championships and the Commonwealth Championships, but it was in the snatch phase where he actually picked up 113 kilos. So who knows how this is going to unfold, but that's a really, really great effort.
We're talking about extension. We're looking at hips and knees.
Now, this is really important now, isn't it, Michaela, because here we go with Malaysia, the bar at 111 kilos.
He needs to find some fire in the legs for this one.
And just remember, waiting in the wings is Yodage of Sri Lanka, who is looking for 112 for his 3rd attempt.
No, even if he stands with that, there's no way he's getting it.
No.
Huge press out both elbows. Yes, he knows it. So the rules specify bar must go to arm's length and stay there in one continuous movement. Can't see, well, you might even be able to see from this angle. Nah, you can't see here. But both elbows definitely pressed out. Big movement. You'll see here, watch the elbows. Lands it, arms are bent. Straightens the elbows, that's a no lift. Very strong to be able to do that. Unfortunately, that is a big setback.
Yeah, so at the moment, Sagar of India leading with his 111. Anik Mohammed, who you've just seen at the moment in 2nd place with 107, but still to come, of course, is Dilanka Yodage, who's asked for 112 kilos on the bar. But worth remembering that Anik Mohammed does have a 3rd attempt at 111. Now, because this is the totality of the performances of snatch and clean and jerk, here is where you have to stay very, very balanced in your head and not over-egg it and not do daft things.
And that's why I was a little surprised Anik Mohammed went to the 111, maybe pressurised by the poker game. But he's at 111 now, needs this lift. He does have a strong clean and jerk, but I think if I were coaching, I would have played maybe a more conservative game, maybe go on 109, 110. He's under pressure now, needs this lift to really stay in contention. He's there or thereabouts, but this will make life a lot easier.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, he's posted as opening clean and jerk 140 kilos, which would really put him back into pole position, but you can't roll back from where you've been, so third and final attempt to put him on even terms with Sagar of India. 3 seconds.
Nope.
Not perhaps in the head as much as...
Well, I don't know, he gave that full commitment. He totally committed to it. Was just on his toes. It's the side view that will tell us what went wrong, but I think, you know, maybe that was a couple of kilos too many, as I've already alluded to. It's not about how much you can snatch, this is about how much you can total. First attempt, in my view, wasn't overly convincing, and that is just a shame. He knows how important that lift was.
So here's the man who's bidding to take the lead. And this is Dilanka Yodage from Sri Lanka. 112 kilos on the bar, so this is a 7 kilo increase. At the moment, he's only got 105.
I don't know, let's wait and see what the referees think. I saw movement in his right elbow.
2-1 in his favour. Just the central referee not convinced.
And I'm just having a little look over our table at the moment, and there's a wave of a flag from the jury desk. They also may have seen what we saw. So the jury have to agree unanimously. So there's a jury made up of 5 lifters. They referee the competition like the referees do, and if there is an agreement, let's say they all saw what I saw, as the centre referee saw and failed the lift, it would then flag up on their screen. But they've asked for a wave, but the competition is still going on. The competition should have been stopped.
Yeah, they...
the jury are standing, they are waving the flag to say stop.
This is really bad for the Indian lifter, because he's been allowed to go on stage. That just disrupts him a little bit. So the technical controller should have held him back.
So I think we have just had confirmation that previous lift was reversed. It was a no lift. So huge attempt that was from the Yodage of Sri Lanka. So the 112 will not register. Still on the board as a good lift.
Yeah, Pedro Sanchez, the jury president from Australia, and he was very clear about this. Here we are, have a look at this again, and there you can clearly see the press out on both arms.
His right arm in particular,
yeah.
It landed with it bent, then straightened as he stood.
So the bar has gone to 113 kilos for Sanket Sagar of India to confirm his advantage, increase his advantage as we move to the halfway stage.
Oh, he's done well. Can he stand? Yes, he can. Tremendous lifting from Sanket Sagar. Out and out, the best lifter here in the snatch phase of the competition. 3 from 3. What more can you do? Great extension this time. Had to fight to hold it, and he does it so well.
Yeah, that really is right on his personal best, 113 kilos. And the athletes, and indeed this man, focusing on winning the Commonwealth gold medal, not trying for any records.
No, he's played this intelligently. You know, the 107 to 111, that was a challenging lift. And now just going up just 2 kilos to try and get as many kilos under his belt as possible to take that forwards into the second part of the competition.
Indeed, and now the athletes, particularly this man in picture now, will go into the clean and jerk phase. There's 10 minutes before the clean and jerk phase begins. So India, it is Sanket Sagar leading with 113 kilos, ahead of Anik Mohammed of Malaysia with 107. Then Dilanka Yodage from Sri Lanka with 105. Those are the top 3 at the moment in terms of the fight for the medals. Then with 93 kilos, Taj of Bangladesh, along with Ben Hickling of England, and then Philip Massey of the Solomon Islands with 90 kilos. And of course, sadly, Davis Niyoyita of Uganda eliminated. Commonwealth Games champion of 2022. And out onto the stage, representing Kenya, Benjamin Osiemo.
It's good, it's overhead. It's not the tidiest of lifts that we're going to see, but that will do. Really looked uncomfortable with the bar on his shoulders. In fact, I'm going to say he looked uncomfortable from start to finish. Take a look at the movement here when he receives the bar in the squat position. He really sinks in, hangs on too long at extension, sinks in, keeps his elbows high enough so they don't touch the knees. If the elbows touch the knees, it's a no lift. Now look here, we've got the movement of the chin up. He's got his skin trapped. He's trying to adjust the hands. Really, that wants to be done as you stand out of the clean in one continuous movement. He's faffing around for a long time there. Mistimes the dip, but somehow drives it to arm's length. When I say mistimed, the bar actually came off his shoulders as he dipped. Ideally, that bar wants to stay on the shoulders as you dip and drive. If it comes off your shoulders, the bar's going to be coming back down as you drive up. So not the best technically, but he stuck it overhead, 83 on the board. He's now got himself a total and can relax a little. Now it's about going out and really pushing the boundaries.
Indeed, he brought forward 65 kilos to add to that. Now the 85 gives him a total of 148, which is a new personal best. And this is a perfect example of someone who's set their own targets for a ranking position.
Totally.
He knew that he really wasn't in with a chance of a medal, but a ranking position can actually end up determining how much financial support that you get for the future. So 83 kilos and now 85 kilos. Just a 2 kilo increase, but a sensible increase.
Just tapping his elbows, indicating to the referees that he doesn't have a great elbow lock.
Let's hope this is better. It might well be. Slightly better clean.
It's there, it's overhead, just needs to recover, bring the feet in line, wait for the down signal. He's got it, 2-1.
Yeah, that looked fine to me.
Yeah, as I said, you know, a few technical things needs to sharpen up on. Just get the timing. He's landing the clean with his elbows low, is then adjusting it. Now, you can do that so long as the bar stays in the same place. If he caught it with the bar low on his chest, adjusted the elbows and moved it up, that would be a no lift.
Well, he posted an entry total of 148 kilos.
The jury are actually looking at that. They're looking to see if there was an adjustment, I think. I think they're looking to see if it's an adjustment on the shoulders or a press out overhead. What are they looking for? I thought the shoulders was fine.
Yeah.
I think they're okay. I think he's okay.
I think he's okay.
I don't think the jury were unanimous in their decision, but they wanted to take a look at the replay.
So given that he is okay, that will be 150 kilos. I mentioned that he posted an entry total of 148, so he surpassed that by a couple of kilos, so that's good. Thumbs up from the technical controller, which says all is good. And the bar has gone up from 85 to 88 kilos. So this is a bigger question now for him. Got a personal best of 90. Can he find these 3 extra kilos?
Not in the head. The previous attempt he hung on to at the top before dropping under. And when you do that, you take the speed, the momentum and the height off the bar, which doesn't give you time to drop under. But in that case there, never really believed it. It was never in the head. Much more to this game than the physical and the technical. You've got to have the mental strength as well.
But it's the harmonization of mind and body that's really key to successful lifting.
Totally. For anybody that is new to the sport, maybe they're involved in CrossFit or Olympic lifting, make sure you spend the time getting the fundamentals drilled, get moving really, really well before you start loading the bar. And all too often we see coaches push lifters to load too early. That's when technique breaks down. Then we start having the mental challenges as well.
And over the next couple of days, we're going to see a lot of lifters who've made the transition from CrossFit into weightlifting.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more CrossFitters transitioning into lifting. And what I would really like to see is weightlifting rules being applied in CrossFit. At the moment, you have something called a clean and jerk, but actually it's get the bar from the floor, overhead, anyhow, momentarily pausing at the shoulders. The rules are not crisp and sharp enough in CrossFit. If CrossFit is sharpen up with that, then we're going to see some great lifters coming through and making the transition.
So the bar up from 88 kilos to 95 kilos. And this is for Gautier Gatswani of Botswana. Originally he posted 90 kilos, so starting at 95 suggests that the warm-up has gone well. Bringing forward 70 kilos from the snatch phase. And those knee wraps again unraveling.
Yeah, he's not letting it phase him. It's just, yeah, they're just not ideal. A couple of reasons I wouldn't wear those knee wraps. One, for that, what we're just seeing here, they can come undone. But secondly, if you take them off and re-wrap them, a lifter suddenly changes their weights and it's back at you. It can take too long to do them up. Holds the bar here on a full grip. Most lifters will opt for looser grip or an open hand. Punching that bar to arm's length, which means the legs cannot be quite as effective. Nonetheless, it's stuck.
165 is running total. As onto the stage already, Willem Emile for Mauritius.
There's the power clean. Jerk is good, it was forwards, he's not happy with it, but it will do.
Well, it's a personal best straight away.
Well, the clean here, watch how high he catches the bar, above 90-degree knee bend. Oof, just about, that's a power clean. Most lifters will sit a lot deeper. Here it was slightly in front, that looked okay. It was as he recovered, too much weight on his front leg. Ideally you want to recover front foot, then back foot. He recovered back foot all the way, which is what sent him off balance.
And 178 puts him into the overall lead, but early days. I think we're going to have a fascinating finale here as well, as we were at the halfway stage on the snatch. I don't think there are going to be many kilos between the medalists.
I think it's going to be exciting too, and I'm really hoping you don't ask me who I think will come out on top, because I couldn't commit at the moment. It's going to be so close right to the end.
Well, there's a fair percentage of lifts that are being made here, which is always good news, and you can see really good atmosphere from the fans who've made their way in. So David Mock. So David bringing forward 81 kilos and opening up here on 100. Couple of steps forward, feet need to be still and in line.
That's fine, it meets all the requirements that are necessary. He won't be overly happy being off balance, but very similar to the snatch, everything was on his toes. Needs to work on this, and I'm sure he will. Doesn't quite get extension at the hip, but generates enough height to get under the bar. We see here in the jerk, he's got about 70% on that front leg, has to recover forwards. Ideally, when you receive the bar, you want even weight distribution between front and back leg.
But when you consider that he's been involved in the sport for less than 18 months, this is remarkable.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and it's quite exciting how much further he can go. You know, tidy up a few things technically, continue to develop and get stronger, and with experience, who knows what he can do.
So Gautier comes out again, as you can see, for his second attempt. So a 5 kilo increase. Adjusts.
And there's the problem with the closed grip and punching with the arms. Punches it forwards, sends his body backwards, never underneath the bar in the jerk. Yeah, shaking off the knee, so he's uncomfortable with the knee. Now, interesting, we've seen him power clean in warm-up. He pretty much power cleaned his first lift. Now he goes into a squat position, and he hasn't warmed up in that position, and that is my problem with a lifter that doesn't achieve a squat lift in the warm-up. They just never warm the knees up, so he's putting his knees into a very vulnerable position, cold. Punches overhead, pushes himself back.
Yeah, you can see the hips behind the bar. But back out on stage now. Emile Mauritius, 100 kilos on the bar for him. Second attempt. This will nudge him into first place.
Still forwards, needs to stay on the platform, and he does.
And he needs to put the bar down on the platform, which he also does.
Yeah, 4 metre square area does give a fair amount of space, and not many lifters need all that space, but occasionally a lifter will have the bar out in front. They have a bit of running room. Clean, yet again, pretty much powers it. Let's have a look here. Dip straight, lacks a bit of drive. Very similar to the lifter we just saw, punching the bar overhead, pushing himself away from it. But it's stuck, it will do, 2 out of 2.
183 goes to top of the class at the moment, ahead of David Mock of Singapore. Gautier Kautswane of Botswana, third at the moment, but lots of lifters to yet start their second half campaign. So there's the man from Botswana in picture. Now, Michaela Kautswane failed at 100. Now, what's he got to do now to try and achieve this third attempt?
Well, I think the issues. Okay, he needs to be on the platform. They're going to reset. Hang on, we've got a problem here. The clock's on 11 seconds. His name is on the clock. He needs to get to the platform, or are they going to reset it?
The clock hasn't started. But he's got the crowd on his side.
It is ticking. 9, 8.
5 seconds. He's got it moving. Now, come on, drive up.
Needs to get himself under rather than punch himself backwards. And he does. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. Wonderful recovery. 1 second left on the clock. Look what it means to him.
Yeah, and you could see that from the moment he walked out. He was really fired up. He wanted the crowd on his side. They responded. He responded, and he's got that third attempt.
That was a gutsy effort from start to finish. Dips on the toes, manages to get his hips underneath the bar this time. Well done.
Yeah, and again, a man who has totaled up 171 kilos, entered a total of 155, so in that sense has really surpassed his expectations. And you can see how delighted it is. So from Botswana, we move to the South Pacific and to the Solomon Islands, and Philip Mass's first attempt at 102 kilos, bringing forward 90 kilos from the snatch phase. So this would take him into outright first place. A little bit more dynamic. And that's much better.
Yeah, some very good lifting there. We saw the explosion and the power on the snatch, and now we see it again on the clean and jerk. He just needs to make sure he's landing the weights and timing the lifts. Very impressive opener.
What's remarkable as you look at this, Michaela, is these athletes from the South Pacific, from Polynesia, the advance they've made. And so many of them, particularly during COVID, involved in virtual competitions. Second attempt for David Mock, up 3 kilos.
That was short on the extension. Can he stand? This is a big effort. No. Lost all the timing, off balance underneath the bar. Not a great start. So we'll have one attempt remaining. Let's take a look here. Drops the chest. Not enough extension. The bar buries him at the bottom. He loses the momentum, loses the bounce, has to adjust as well. Well, anybody wants to know how hard that is, try putting your best clean weight on the bar, going into a front squat, stopping at the bottom, and then seeing if you can stand.
But to be fair to him, everything he's attempting is completely new territory on a competition stage. And now back to the man from Mauritius for his third and final lift in these Commonwealth Games. Willem Emile. this is for 6 out of 6.
And that's the best jerk we've seen. On balance this time, recovers front foot first. Willem Emil, 3 from 3. He has had a tremendous competition. Strong off the floor, drives powerfully with the legs, loads of upward extension, just about sits into a squat. And this time, no mistakes. Hips are under the bar. Bar is nicely over that base of support. Sticks it overhead, great arm lock. Best out of the 3.
So finishes strongly to give himself an overall total of 186 kilos. Currently lying in 2nd place, but clearly surpasses. Worth remembering that he also weighed in at 53.97. Clearly the lightest of the class.
Yeah, body weights no longer play a part. Remember, it's the lifter that achieves the weight first that will take the lead.
Absolutely. And now David Mock, who lies currently in 3rd place, to try and do what he couldn't do 2nd time around.
Mistimes it again. Bar hits him at the bottom, kills the bounce, and he cannot stand. He's still got the 100 kilos to fall back on, so he does have a total.
He does indeed. 181, which again is a new personal best for him by some margin. 11 kilo personal best.
And he's clearly strong enough. The bar actually comes down on top of him, so there was actually too much height on the bar. He hit the bottom, then the bar hit him, and really he almost wanted less effort, so he hit the bottom with the bar and could then bounce out. What a shame.
But only 19, as you rightly said. Hopefully we'll see an even better David Mock at the next Commonwealth Games for Singapore. So the 2nd attempt for the man who is currently the overall leader for the Solomon Islands. Now his first attempt, 102, so going up 5 kilos here. So looking for a total of 197 at this stage. And this is right on his personal best for clean and jerk.
Wastes no time between the clean and the jerk, straight into it. Fantastic lifting, a really, really gutsy performer. Very impressed with what I'm seeing so far. He's leaving his heart out on the platform, that much is for sure. Really hits him hard at the bottom, somehow manages to stand. Hands adjusted nice and wide. Less distance for the bar to travel. Hips are underneath, job done.
Yeah, what's also evident with him, Michaela, how much he's in his own zone. Really focused about what he's asking himself to do, and so far really delivering. Total of 197. And the bar going to 110 kilos now for, it should be Ashik Taj of Bangladesh. And again, he originally posted 108 for his opener, so 110 suggests that things backstage have gone in the right direction for him. And Taj, who brings forward just 93 kilos, couldn't get the final snatch at 96, so 93 kilos is the platform upon which he's going to try and build with this 110 kilo first attempt. 30 seconds as he goes to the bar. Well, it's there.
It is there. He's got the down signal. The lifter has to stand with their feet in line, has to demonstrate they're under control before the referees will give that signal. He did get the signal before he staggered, so he's absolutely fine. Big chest throughout, which is good. Stands strong. Punches the bar a little, not using the legs as effectively as he could. The wobble is irrelevant, he's under control.
And this is the point where it's noteworthy, these men who are in this 55 kilo category. We've just seen a successful lift at 110 kilos, so double body weight. Well, here comes Philip Massett. I've really enjoyed watching this man. He's been really a delight to watch him go to work. He's currently in second place. He had one failure in the snatch phase at 90 kilos, but going well here. 102, 107, now 110. An extra 3 kilos to bring him up to a total of 200.
Dipped and paused, he mistimed the dip, what a shame. Well, you cannot say he left anything out there, gave it everything. See here, feet very close on the start position, that's his style of lifting. Speed under the bar hits him hard, somehow finds the strength to stand. Now watch, he dips, pauses, mistimes it. You want to be dipping and coming straight out of that bottom position.
So Ben Hickling with a job to do for himself and England. As you said, relatively inexperienced, but opening up here on 112 kilos as planned for his first attempt. Things didn't quite go his way in the first phase, only one good attempt. Good clean.
Easy lifting from Ben, outstanding opening lift, almost looks conservative. Well, he's got one on the board, he's got a total. Now the question is, how much further can he go? Has a best of 122, so I'm expecting to see at least a 5 kilo increase here. Let's take a look, drops the chest a fraction, not bad, great extension. Catches high, just shows how much leg strength and power there is.
Yeah, it was really economic in that first phase. And that's what you want to do to conserve your energy.
Look how high he catches the bar. He's barely split his feet to get underneath. There is so much more there.
Goes to the top of the leaderboard. Dave Sawyer on the right there with a encouraging smile. Pleased with that opening.
You don't see Dave smile that often.
Well, he's as nervous as anybody.
Do you know what? It's almost worse being a coach because it's out of your control. It doesn't matter, you know, what you say. At the end of the day, you don't have the control. It's totally down to the lifter. The coach is there to support. The coach is there to get the lifter to the platform at the right time, to give the words of encouragement. But at the end of the day, only one person can lift that bar.
The loaders speedily onto the stage to increase the weight on the bar to 115 kilos. Ben Hickling, by that first successful clean and jerk, taking himself into the overall lead with a total of 205 at the moment. But still, waiting in the wings, Sanket Sagar of India, Anik Mohammed of Malaysia, Delenka Yodage of Sri Lanka. The three big guns, so to speak, from the first half of the competition. Now Ashik Taj. So 5 kilo increase here. That's what he's looking for.
I don't know. Let's see what the referees think.
Well, 2 to 1.
He's got it 2 to 1. Just waiting to see what the jury are thinking. So I saw movement in his right elbow. The jury are, as I suspected, requesting to stop the competition. Take a look at his right arm as he lands it. There's movement. It's bent, then it straightens.
Yeah.
Definite movement in that elbow. I mean,
I would not think that he's going to hold on to that lift for too long. And you can see Pedro there, centre man in the jury, the president, just indicating the press out on the right arm and stop the competition. The technical controller is actually not doing a particularly good job at the moment, because he should hold back the next lifter until the jury decision is implemented. So that lift will be taken away from Taj.
I'd say they need a better way of getting attention. The jury are raising a flag, but the officials are not seeing it, which is why the competition still continues. Take a look here. Clean is fine, no problems whatsoever. It's the jerk that we're looking for, and we're looking at the right elbow. It's got to go to arm's length. First time, there cannot be any flexion of that elbow. Clearly is. I don't think that lift is going to stand.
No, it isn't. And as far as Ben Hickley, who was waiting to come on again, it's up to the technical controller to keep his or her eye on the jury.
Yeah, and let's just explain what's happening here. We did see Ben Hickley about to come out, but because that lift has been overruled, it's now a no lift. That means that the bar goes back to the same lifter again, so the bar has come back down in weight to 115, and he will follow himself. That said, he's just gone up to 118, so I think we are going to see Ben coming now at 116.
Yes, and the result of that is that the lifter from Bangladesh, they've decided to buy a little bit more time by going up to 118 for what will be the third attempt. But now Ben Hickley, 4 kilo increase here to take him to 209. The first attempt, spot on. Second question. With that?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks a little nervous, but look at him enjoying the competition now. 2 out of 2. This is a much better sequence. 1 attempt remaining. How close to that best are we going to see him go? Drops his chest a little here as he receives the bar and tries to stand. That's what causes the step forwards. The jerk is so good. He's so powerful in the legs. Catapults the bar really high. Wonder how much further he can go if he splits that bit wider.
So the UK, United Kingdom #1, goes to the top of the table at the moment with 209. But remember, there are 3 lifters who have yet to start from India, Malaysia and Sri Lanka. So a lot to happen here. Now, it's normal for the...
He's going to go in excess of 120, David, so although the clock is ticking, as long as they've changed it in time, which I hope they have, yes they have. So the rules specify that the coaches must change the weight before the clock runs 30 seconds, and they did it just in the nick of time. So he's going to have more time to recover and force other lifters out. And they've done it sensibly here. So he had 116, the bar automatically went 117. He's now gone 180. That forces a lifter out. I don't think they're coming out at 118. I think they're going to go up again and buy more time to recover.
Well, the Sri Lankan Dilanka Yodage has posted 120 for his opener, but before that, as you rightly said, it's Ashik Taj of Bangladesh to try and come out and get this third attempt. Now remember, he failed at 115. They bought time by pushing the bar up to 118. So this effectively is an 8 kilo increase from his first clean and jerk.
It's just to try and go back ahead of Ben Hickley from England. Clean is good. Jerk is better. Gets the down signal, and he's back into the lead.
Yeah, 3 white lights, and that's a really good recovery from him. Takes him and gives him a total of 211 kilos. Pity about the second attempt failure.
It's irrelevant. The fact that he went up in weight anyway and gambled means that second attempt really doesn't matter. It hasn't held him back, and he's showcased what he is capable of. Up into the lead momentarily. And this is almost unfortunate for Ben, because it could force him to come out on a weight maybe a little lighter than he wanted, because positions are important. So right now he wants to go back ahead with the lifter from Bangladesh. This is about positions, not personal bests.
So from 116 to 119, and as you rightly said, he's got a personal best of 122, but this is all about the moment, the occasion, and how you react. Third attempt, 119 for 3 out of 3 in the clean and jerk, and to go back into first place.
Much better clean. It's there. He sticks it. Fantastic lifting from Ben. He's in the lead. 3 lifters yet to start. And do you know what's most important here? He's put himself in a position. If one of those other lifters makes a mistake, he's there.
Indeed.
Outstanding lifting. Great float on the bar. Loads of leg strength to stand. And this jerk, well, catapults it to arm's length. There is so much more there. It's just a shame we didn't see him have a go at a best, but the coaches played the right cards here. They put him in contention. They put him in the lead once again.
Yeah, it's just a pity for Ben that things didn't quite go his way in the first part of the competition in the snatch, but he leads with 212 ahead of Ashik Taj of Bangladesh, with Philip Massi of the Solomon Islands currently in the bronze medal position, but now on stage. The first attempt of Yodage, representing Sri Lanka. Really good drive and clean. Settles.
Happy with that.
Yeah.
A few wobbles, a few staggers, but the arms were good. And he's got a total. He's up into the lead. That pushes Ben Hickley down into second place.
Yeah, it's a very considerable lead, 225. Again, he only made 1 snatch, but opens up here on 120. And of course, what's really significant is his last major competition was the World Championships and the Commonwealth Championships, which were part of the qualifying process, and he failed to total. So that was a really important lift.
It is, and you know what? Coming into a big competition like this with a couple of bomb outs behind you is not the most psychologically the best preparation you can have. You know, it's challenging, and you come in with that element of doubt, and it's very hard to put that behind you, especially if it's happened more than once.
Now, hold your breath, because the bar has gone from 120 kilos to 135. Now, we are well in excess of double body weight.
That is a monumental increase here from the Sri Lankan. 120 to 136. Does have a best of 137, so starting modestly. He's probably started modestly to get one in on and make a total. Secure the medal first.
I'm saying, yeah, 135 for Sanket Sagar of India, who so far 3 out of 3 in the snatch, with 113 led at the halfway stage. Locking on. First attempt, 135.
It's there, it's overhead. The arms are not tidy, but they stayed in position. There was no press out. So he doesn't have a great elbow lock overhead, but so long as there's no movement, he's okay. Let's take a look at the replay. Clean is really good. Hands are very wide. drops the body underneath to receive. Does well to hang on and hold. It's enough to put him right up into gold medal position. Still other lifters there to challenge.
Indeed, remember, Anik Mohammed of Malaysia yet to start his campaign. He's waiting in the wings. So now we have, Michaela, we have this situation which is a little unusual, that Dilanka Yodage from Sri Lanka opened up on 120. That was to make sure that he got a medal.
Yep.
Now a huge jump to 137.
But he does. This is his best. So he has done this weight before, and I feel like the 120 was a very conservative weight for two reasons. One, build the confidence, get the total, having had a couple of bomb outs coming into this, and secondly, to guarantee the medal, as you said. So he's got the medal. Now he can push. Now he can open up.
Right, so he's right on his clean and jerk personal best here at 137 kilos.
Yes, but if successful, will not take the lead again. This will still only keep him in second position, but it will close the gap.
Strong in the mind, strong in the body. Can he clean it? Yes, he can. A step forward on the stage.
No, it's too much. Well, with one attempt remaining, this is not going to advance his position. This is now purely about, well, I say it's not going to advance his position. It will if he goes up a couple more kilos. But this was hugely telling. That said, he's had a feel now for what this weight is like. The next attempt won't be such a shock. 17 kilo increase is going to feel heavy. 120 to 137, that would have felt tough coming off the floor. Now he's had a feel for it. The question is, does he fancy a couple more kilos?
So, at the moment, Sagar doesn't want 137, and he's put it up to 143. So this is the high-stakes poker coming in. And when I say he's put it up, I'm referring to Dilanka Yodage of Sri Lanka. He's put it up to 143, which forces the other lifters to get going. And in particular, Anik Mohammed of Malaysia. Now, he originally posted 140 for his opener. He's come down sensibly to 138, because 138 is going to go with the 107. So again, initially concentrating on making sure he gets a medal.
Yeah, sensible calls now from the coaches. They're looking to see what they need for the medals. This isn't about personal best. This, as we've said already, is about the poker game and making sure they put themselves in the best position possible. If successful, this is going to put him up into the silver medal position and knock the Sri Lankan down into bronze.
So this for a total of 235 kilos.
Wonderful lifting. Look how wide he had to split on the jerk to secure the bar overhead. That is a fantastic opener. Straight up into silver medal position. Now it is game on. Who is prepared to push the furthest? Who can keep their composure?
So Sagar of India in the gold medal position. Anik Mohammed of Malaysia in silver. Dilanka Yodage of Sri Lanka in bronze. Ben Hickling now off the podium, the young Englishman in fourth place, the best of the rest.
But was looking for a top 5 finish, so fourth place, that is respectable and has a huge amount to build on for the next games.
So onto the stage, Sanket Sagar of India, going from 135 to 139, sensible increase of 4 kilos.
This is now about the medal, so all he's doing here is putting himself back into gold medal position. The last jerk was tough.
He's got 248 kilos, he leads. Can he enhance the advantage?
Drops chest as he dips. How has he held it? He hasn't, and he's hurt his elbow. And I fear that might be game over for him. That is unfortunate. Dropped his chest as he dipped, ended up compensating by dropping the chest. He's in a lot of pain there, and he will not take another lift. I'm pretty confident of that. Have a look here, the clean is good. So on the jerk, he drops his chest. As a result, has to compensate by dropping his chest into the jerk, and the bar goes backwards behind. Oh, there goes the elbow. That was close. How that didn't come right out. Partial dislocation there. And I'm sorry to... Not nice to see when a lifter is in that kind of discomfort. That's going to put him out for a good few months. The trouble is right now he's full of adrenaline, so that is the best painkiller ever. But he's tweaked the elbow, he's overstretched those ligaments.
But he still leads. At this moment in time, he has 248 kilos. He's 3 kilos ahead of Anik Mohammed of Malaysia, who has, of course, 2 attempts at his disposal. And Dilenka Yodage, who has put the bar to 141. And at the moment, what's happening is that the clock is timing out.
Yeah, they'd be crazy to send him out. You've got to look at the athlete welfare as well here. And I don't want to watch the replay again. But he's hurt. He's overstretched the ligaments. That is evident by what we've just seen. He's in pain. There are times when you push through that. There are times when you say no. If he comes out again, we risk that elbow going completely. The advice now would be no. The clock is ticking. He wants to go. Oh, dear me.
Yeah, this is the man who totaled up 256 kilos in the Asian qualification event in February to come to these Commonwealth Games. I'm not sure you're going to even watch the stage
no,
here.
I am. David, this is all yours. This one is all yours to commentate on. I can't watch it.
Well, courage, yes, but only 15 seconds left. Can he even clean it? Well, he can. Predictable. It was not the wisest of things, and he's in considerable pain and discomfort. You've got to admire his guts for trying, but foolish, really, to be honest, Michaela.
It's not a call he should have been allowed to make there. There was a doctor there. You got the team manager, the coaches there. They want the medals. He's in a medal position. This was risking the athlete's career, and in my view, was not a sensible call.
You know, I mean, the other thing is, I mean, this is a 21-year-old young man.
Exactly. You've got to look at his welfare and his long-term career. Sad to see, but he's still there in medal contention.
So Yodage now, who lies in the bronze medal position, has pushed the bar from 137 to 141, which is a 4-kilo increase. This would take him from 225 to 229. Doesn't really change anything. He's in the bronze medal position.
Well, if successful, we'll put him into silver. Oh, not to be. Not enough drive on the bar. Didn't generate enough height. Tried to drop underneath, but that was gutsy. Not to be.
No, so just that first lift of 120, it leaves him on a total of 225. It secures the bronze medal for Dilenka Yodage of Sri Lanka, and there is 1 lift left. And it belongs to Anik Mohammed of Malaysia. He lies 3 kilos short of Sagar of India.
So, big lift coming up from Anik Mohammed. Could be a record attempt as well.
142 kilos is a... Well, no, actually, it will break the Commonwealth Games clean and jerk record. And...
Sorry, the junior record, yeah, is 142. The senior record is 141. That makes no sense.
Yeah. So, the man who won Malaysia's first ever World Championship medal last year.
Oh. He's okay.
And the result of that failure at 142 kilos means that Sanket Sagar of India has actually won the gold medal.
He has. He'll be a man on top of the podium, maybe not smiling, maybe grimacing. That could have been quite nasty on the hip and the knee. Ideally, you want to get rid of the bar before you end up on your bum.
And something of an anticlimax right at the end. And it just shows you, Michaela, that really Sagar really didn't need to come out for that third attempt, but there he is. He is the Commonwealth Games champion at 55 kilos, a total of 248 kilos, 113 in the snatch, 135 in the clean and jerk. And then Anik Mohammed of Malaysia takes the silver with a total of 245, with Delenka Yodage the bronze in 225. Ben Hickling for England with 212, just a kilo ahead of Ashik Taj of Bangladesh with 211. And then Philip Massi, the man from the Solomons, with 197. And really impressive, the first five totaling over 200 kilos.
Yeah, it really was a great competition there. The top three out and out, head and shoulders above everybody else. It's great to see what talent we have as well lined up. So, final lift coming up. Here we go. This one is the only lift now from Anik Mohammed that can put him into gold medal position. India watch on nervously backstage.
"20 seconds.
Much better.
Gets the clean now.
He's going to have to split long.
Malaysia or India?
Malaysia, can he stand still? Yes, he can! What a lift for gold! And look what it means to him!
And he snatches the gold medal away from Sagar by a kilo.
Wow, we said anti-climax. Well, we were wrong. We were not expecting that. Tremendous lifting from Anik Mohammed. Games record to boot, 142.
Indeed. And he only turned 20 in the middle of last month. And Malaysia have got a real star on their hands here in terms of weightlifting.
Super gutsy lift, generates just enough height on the bar, but this time uses the bounce to stand straight up. Now watch how far he has to split to get his body underneath the bar. Only drives the bar a few inches up, but commits, drops low, sticks it overhead, fights to the end.
And it's worth saying, Michaela, because you know this, it takes a lot of courage to get under that bar.
Oh, doesn't it just? And when you know that you are physically not strong enough to drive the bar any higher, you've got to find a way of getting under it. And that way is to split the feet further forwards, further back, drop the centre of gravity lower. You've got to be super strong in that position to hold it, though.
And you've got to believe.
And that, he most certainly did. Tremendously gutsy effort. There is your Commonwealth Games champion in the men's 55 kilo category.
So Anik Mohammed denies Sagar of India by just a kilo. 249 to 248. Delenka Yodage of Sri Lanka gets 225. Ben Hickling of England 212. And Ashik Taj in 5th place with 211. So the podium being prepared for the medal presentations. So also worth reflecting just at this moment, just a little further down the order, but worth emphasizing Willem Emil of Mauritius, totaling up 186 new personal bests.
Yeah, and there's been lots of personal bests throughout this competition, and that is what is so special to see. This isn't just about the medals. Everybody came here with a personal agenda, and it's great to see that so many lifters leave with some great results.
David Mock of Singapore, the man who's been in the sport for less than 18 months. That's an exceptionally good 181 for him. So he's going to smile and enjoy the rest of the games now. The one man who's really going to be disappointed, though, is Davis Niyoyita of Uganda. Just a horrible day at the office for him. And no total, bombed out in the snatch. Now let's hope that Sagar is okay, as we just see the lift that actually earned gold for this young man and Malaysia. And a Commonwealth Games record for a little icing on the cake. And it's a Commonwealth Games record in terms of the clean and jerk. The Games record standard for the total is 255, so that will be for another Games and another day. Well, a good start to the competition. 16 gold medal categories between the men and the women for a sport that was first introduced into the Commonwealth Games in 1950. And of course, women's weightlifting introduced into the Commonwealth Games, what, 2002, Manchester?
2002. So let's take a look at the montage.
So the three young men who have succeeded here in the men's 55 kilo, the opening competition in the world of weightlifting at the 2022 Commonwealth Games. And no less a man than the president of the International Weightlifting Federation, Mohamed Jaloud, recently elected to present the first set of medals. Represented on the podium, of course, Sri Lanka, India and Malaysia.
Sri Lanka, Delanka Yodagai.
And the bronze medal goes to Delanka Yodage of Sri Lanka. 105 kilos in the snatch, 120 in the clean and jerk, just 2 out of 6, but 225 good enough to earn him the bronze medal. A good start, an encouraging start for Sri Lanka, a country with so many problems. And arm in a sling, Sanket Sagar of India, so close. 3 out of 3 in the snatch to get 113 and lead at the halfway stage, and then 135 to total up 248, but ultimately to be denied by a kilo.
Commonwealth Games champion, representing Malaysia, Mohammed Amin bin Kasdan.
The champion of the Commonwealth at 55 kilos, Anik Mohammed of Malaysia, 107 in the first phase, only one good snatch, but 142 to total up 249 and become Commonwealth champion at 55 kilos.
For those who are able to, please stand for the anthem of Malaysia.
Well, all the drama that you can expect in the world of weightlifting, swings and balances either way, an injury involving the outcome of the Commonwealth Games. You can see a little crestfallen there, Saga on the left.
He's done well not to pass out with that kind of pain. I'm pretty sure he's pretty uncomfortable right there with a partial dislocation of the elbow. Hopefully we'll be okay, but he's going to need a little bit of